That is awesome, dude.
Look how red he is.
That's real animal style right there.
Look at that.
That is a day maker, baby. Oh, look at that.
Real Animals, presented by Contender Boats.
Today I'm in beautiful Delacroix, Louisiana. We're staying at the Delacroix Lodge. I'm with my very good friend, Captain Ryan Rickard. We do a little fishing in the bayou here. Ryan, what's the plan this morning?
Plan is, first of all, we're probably going to try to find some cleaner water a little bit later. This is a little bit more murky than I'd like to see. However, I've had really good success here in this particular area of Delacroix. So this morning we're going to start out throwing some soft plastic paddle tails and see if we can't stick some fish through this grass, just running through this grass, and kind of just troll down this shoreline as we're going and fan cast a little bit since the water's a little murky and see what we can find.
See what the good Lord gives us. Sounds like a winner. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This week I was pretty excited because we headed out on a great road trip. I had the crew and Captain Ryan meet me at the house about 6 o'clock. We got out of there about 6:20 and hit the road for about an 11-hour drive, and super excited.
We are just outside of Tallahassee right now. 211 miles from the Florida and Alabama line.
Rolled into town there and fueled up the boat. Tried to get everything ready for launching the next morning and hitting the bayou for hopefully some great redfish action. Hit the sack pretty early. I think we passed out about 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock. Everybody was pretty tired from the drive up, and woke up to just a gorgeous Louisiana sunrise. You could tell everybody was kind of buzzing and anxious to get on the water. Kind of a neat thing here at the Delacroix Lodge. We're just up the road from the boat ramp, so in the morning, everybody gets up. We got everything organized. It's just a short little, maybe half a mile jaunt down the road, and we're splashing the boat, ready to take off on this killer adventure. Ryan pulled into the first spot, really close to the boat ramp, and there's a lot of fresh water in here still, so you can catch bass and redfish in the same ponds. It's really an incredible estuary the way it's set up. You're thinking some colors here with this water being pretty murky in here, some colors that maybe stick out a little better?
Yeah, I'm basically thinking very outlandish bright colors just so they can see it a little better. I mean, typically in Louisiana, these fish, they'll clamor over anything, but I'm really thinking something like a fire tiger, this really bright orange, something bright white, I think will be the ticket here in this dirtier water. So let's see what.
Let's go to work and see what works in this.
See what we can do here. Got a lot of grass, got some bait working up here, some mullet jumping, so.
I know one of the keys to Louisiana is always to find that just slightly cleaner water.
Yeah.
And this water's a little dirty. First stop in the morning, we'll try to get cleaner as the day goes on.
Yes, sir.
Sun's not up that high yet.
It's not.
Yeah.
But we'll find that cleaner water later.
Early start. Oop, fish on.
There you go.
I don't know what we got. Felt like a trout, but we'll see.
Acting like a trout.
It's acting like a trout. We'll take a good morning trout. Second cast.
Look at that. Little largemouth, isn't it? Little largemouth.
Are you kidding me?
Is it? Right?
Second cast of the morning, literally, and we're bassed up. How cool is that?
That's the cool part about this place, man. You can get up here and catch, a 27-inch redfish. In your next cast, you could have a 5-pound bass. That's not quite a 5-pounder, but it's a start. Cool little fish, though. Look at that color on that green.
I came out here. I think the white works. Pretty as that little guy, huh? Puts me up 1-0 on Captain Rickard.
Oh, gee.
That's all that really matters.
Here we go.
When you come to Louisiana, it's a place like no other. There's just no red fishery like it anywhere on the planet. And when you got a whole day to get out there and just fish and learn and dig into this incredible fishery, it's pretty exciting.
Oh, there he is. Got him.
Attaboy. Attaboy, Rhino.
That's a good fish right there.
That's what I said. If you stick a redfish in here with all this grass, woo, you were going to have all kinds of fun getting him out of that grass.
That's a good fish, fellas.
Attaboy. We kind of put it together because the wind was blowing on this shoreline. All the bait congregated on this shoreline. Kind of figured when we got in this zone here, we were going to pick one up.
Man, he's buried in that grass.
Shake that grass off you. Look at how pretty that fish is. Woo! I know. Ryan got you good, didn't he? Look how red that fish is. You think they've been eating some shrimp back here? Look at that blue tail. That might be as blue a tail as I've ever seen.
Crushed this
Pretty
bait.
tail.
Strike
Gold.
first.
You wonder why you can see them when they float? Look how gold that fish is.
Bro, that's a good tournament fish right there.
Bronze,
that is a
pretty
good
fish.
tournament fish.
That is how you roll into Delacroix, Louisiana, right there. Boom.
Real Animals is brought to you by Quantum Fishing Reels. Outsmart, outfish, outlast. Ray Marine, simply superior. Mirror Lure, turn on the bite. Engel, high performance coolers.
This week I got really fortunate. My very good friend, Captain Ryan Rickard, had come to me a couple months ago and said, hey, you know, why don't you and I take a trip up to Delacroix and just spend a couple of days in the marsh doing some fishing. And he's a great fisherman, a great angler, and I knew we'd have a blast. So, I mean, it looks like we got some bait flipping around here, some little mullet or something. I mean, I would assume that's the key to the Louisiana estuary, just like Florida and everywhere else we fish. And try to find the mullet, try to find the bait, right?
Try to find a lively flat. I just had a redfish push in front of us. I don't know how big he was, but we had one small push. Here's another push in front of the boat. We'll just keep power pulling down every 30 feet or so and fan cast a little bit.
Cover some water.
There he is. Got him.
Dude, he followed that far.
Got him. Whoa!
Wow.
Got him. That's a good fish, too. Look how red he is. Woo.
Come on, play through. Playing through. That's a good fish. Attaboy, Rhino. Put a little strike first love on him.
That's another solid fish.
It is a solid fish, too. Look at that. Now, what's the size limit here in Louisiana?
It is actually 17 to 27.
Angry, party of one. 17 to 27?
17 to 27.
Really? We are fishing some very fresh water here. We caught a bass in here this morning.
Yeah, we sure did.
And then followed it up with two really nice redfish. I'll tell you what, they commit. These redfish are not playing.
No, they're not.
The redfish here in Louisiana are unlike any redfish I've caught anywhere before. You know, 26, 27-inch redfish catching 8.5 pounder just isn't unheard of. You know, there's so much food in this estuary for them. They look like footballs, like pumpkin-colored footballs when you pull them out of the water. Sean, hit him right on the head. Come on,
nice.
swimming at me. There he is. Hit him right on the head, dude.
Kick him.
I think it's a bass, or it's a very little redfish.
That is a small redfish.
Really?
Does that count too?
Yes.
I mean, really?
Look at all the spots on it. Look how pretty it is.
Can't count this.
Look how pretty that fish is.
That's a pretty cool little fish, though. Check this thing out. This is one of those fish that's has the eye problem.
Yeah.
The eye and the tail are too close together.
That's right.
It's a good fish. Good little fish.
We could see the fish kind of pushing in this back corner. We kind of figured that's where the action was going to be. Fish on.
There we go. Right
out in the middle.
Right in the mullet,
In the middle, too.
Right in the mullet. I'm going to see if I can double hook him.
Way off the shoreline. I mean, he lumped
nice, bro.
this strike first lure like it owed him money.
Nice.
You owe me $1. Get over here, oh, nice fish, too. Really a good fish.
Look at that color. Dude, look at this, though. This is a little cleaner water than what we had
It is
earlier.
a little
Look,
cleaner.
you can
Yep.
see that bait
You can
coming
see
through
that
earlier.
bait
You couldn't see
coming,
it.
Makes a big difference. Look at that bad boy right there, huh?
That's a solid
That
fish
is a
there, dude.
stud. Hey, you know, the next time you get a little crazy and you're like, hey, Mike, let's go to Delacroix, just count me in. Just swim,
Right.
roll up to the house and just pick me up, okay? Because I'm in.
I got you.
Look at that beauty right there. Wow, what a stud.
Yeah, it's not ain't ready yet.
I felt that thump of you releasing that line. I thought, he just came up. Look at that bad boy.
Yeah. Look, check that strike. Look how he crushed that bait. Throttled that bait. Right in the corner of the mouth.
Pretty fish.
Look at that right there. Look at redfish. Solid Louisiana
right
pumpkin spice latte.
That is absolutely unbelievable.
Woo.
That one thumped it.
Great fish. Oh yeah.
Attaboy.
Woo! Real Animals is brought to you by South Seas Island Resort, Spiderwire, nothing gets away, Bull Bay Rods combined with Fuji Guides for a difference that you can feel, Strike First Lures, outfish everybody.
All the way here, you know, the word we got was Delacroix had been a little tough. Redfish had been a little stingy. Guys weren't really doing all that well, but Captain Ryan hadn't been here in a year, and he knew the pockets that he wanted to slide into. We didn't pre-fish yesterday. Today was the first day he's been on the water here in over a year, and we went right to fish. Pretty neat situation to get the opportunity to fish with a guy that smart. This is just a whole string of ponds, huh? You're just working pond to pond?
Yep. You're going pond to pond. Some ponds have fish in them, some ponds don't. Some ponds have 1 fish, some ponds have 30 fish. You just keep going. I mean, this pond right here has got a ton of life. I would imagine that there's got to be some fish in here. As much bait as we're seeing here.
Got him. Come on, baby. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Stroked it, bro. Stroked it. I mean, he thumped it so freaking hard. Look at that pretty color.
Attaboy. Louisiana morning.
Thumped it. Blew up on it.
Right out here in the open in these mullet too. You know, we preach it and preach it and preach it. You got to find the mullet. There they are. They might
I'm
be a little
bring him
bigger.
to you. I'm trying to bring him to you.
You come here. You come here, pumpkin. Look at
Dude,
that.
that's a fat little fish.
That is a god. That fish has shoulders.
Yes,
dude.
it does.
I'm telling you, when you pick it up, they're meaty, super meaty. What an absolute pretty Louisiana redfish right there, man. Huh? Look at that bad boy. Yeah, here in Louisiana, I think one of the things you need to do is you need to be patient. You need to work pond to pond to pond. You know, things change a lot with the wind directions and tides, and you know, sometimes the water in a pond might be clean for a couple of weeks. You get some rain, you get a different wind direction, that water will dirty up, the fish will move. You got to be kind of be ready to move and change speeds and change gears, change baits, be able to kind of go with the flow. And you know, that's what worked for us today. Ryan hadn't fished here in a year. Everything just kind of slid. He was, you know, real open-minded to just finding cleaner water, finding fish, find the bait. Worked out great.
This pond should hold some tailors, hopefully on the lee side of this pond. And hopefully we can get a couple sight casting opportunities on these fish.
Fish on, fish on. Trout, there's my trout. Couldn't let you get too far ahead, dog.
Little trout ski.
Catch me a trout. He just stopped it too. Not a bad trout either.
Nah, he's not bad.
Not a bad trout at all. Look at that. Got little shoulders to him. Good fish. Dude, my bait is completely gone. Don't have a D hooker, so we're gonna make sure our hands are good and wet. Nice. Trout, bass, and redfish, all in the same estuary. Absolutely spectacular. Delacroix, Louisiana. The trout limits here, you're able to keep quite a few more than you are in the Florida fishery, and that's because they have so many fish here. A lot of the local guides get into deep pockets and put on popping corks with live shrimp and just catch them one after another. It's pretty impressive. We only ran into a couple, but we were really targeting shallower water. But the trout fishery is pretty strong here in Louisiana. Got him. Ooh, good fish. Attaboy.
Got him.
Got him.
Here we go. Coming to you.
Nice fish. Boy, they're heavy here. God. Good old pretty tail. Nice fish, Ryan Rickard. That one was pretty tired. Oh, no, not that tired. Good shot, brother man.
Real Animals Tip of the Week is brought to you by Pro Marine, quality marine engine parts overnight. Gator Gems Tackle, not just another tackle store.
Hey gang, this week's Tip of the Week, I want to introduce you to a new bait, Strike First Lures. It's a phenomenal bait. Captain Ryan Rickard here, you kind of introduced me to these baits. Tell me about them a little bit.
You know, if you just look at this bait, it maybe looks like just another soft plastic. But what I really like about these baits is that there's actually 17 holes that's drilled in the top and bottom of this bait, and then there's a sponge embedded on the inside of this bait. It's a scent release bait. Now what happens is when these redfish or trout or snook, whatever, come up to grab these baits, once they actually grab onto this bait, that sponge explodes into their mouth. It's actually menhaden oil is what it is. And what happens is you can really load those baits in the package and kind of squeeze it, get the sponge filled up with that juice there. When they grab a hold of this bait, it blows up in their mouth, and they will not let go.
Right.
So I love this bait. They actually make 3 different styles of these. You know, I'm actually holding a Fire Tiger, which was my #1 bait today that I used.
I like the extra length on the paddle tail.
Yeah.
It seems to give it, and this paddle isn't small, it's pretty big. It really creates a ton of vibration in the water. When you're in waters like we were today, where the water's real dirty, that makes a huge difference because that vibration gets picked up by those fish. They all have lateral lines, whether you see them or don't see them on fish. They turn and strike things just off that vibration in the water. So it's a great bait, really something you need to look into. I've been super excited about them. It's Ryan's go-to bait. I promise you there'll be a go-to bait for you as well. Ask for them at a retailer near you.
Real Animals is brought to you by Deeper. Discover water with your smartphone. Rolls Axle Trailers, built like no other. Plantation on Crystal River. Closed captioning provided by Gator Ford. Real Animals Tackle Box is brought to you by CCA Florida and CCA Florida Star Tournament. Fish Brain. Love fishing more.
In today's Real Animals Tackle Box, on today's trip, Captain Ryan Rickard and I are throwing one of my favorite outfits. We're throwing the 7-foot 2-inch Real Animals Signature Series Bull Bay rod. This is a medium power, fast action. It's got a good backbone, fast action tip on it. We're using my favorite reel, which is the Quantum Smoke 30 PTS inshore spinning reel. Fantastic ceramic drag, all sealed, great corrosion protection on this reel. We're throwing 10-pound Spiderwire Ultracast Invisibraid. Again, one of my favorite lines for inshore. It's super strong. You can make really long casts with it, very abrasion resistant. We're throwing Berkley Pro Spec fluorocarbon leader, 25 pounds, a great weight for, again, what we're doing in the marsh. The water's really dirty out there in Louisiana anyway. Fluorocarbon leader just offers you some great abrasion resistance if the fish were to eat it real deep. We're throwing kind of a cool bait today. This is our Strike First Lures. It's a 4-inch paddle tail. We're throwing it weedless on a 3/16 weedless weighted bass hook. This gives you opportunity to kind of work it through the cover there in Louisiana marsh without getting grass and all the hang-ups you can run into. You know, this was a real grassy trip to the Louisiana marsh. We had a lot of stuff we had to work around. This was a great setup to get it right in there where the fish were living each and every day. We were throwing 2 of my favorite colors, the pearl, which is pretty much my favorite color, and then this is Fire Tiger, which is Captain Ryan Rickard's favorite color for the Louisiana marsh. This setup will absolutely get it done for you out there in the marsh. You can see we caught a bunch of fish today. It's light, you can throw it all day long. It's perfect for throwing artificials. Check this gear out, you won't be disappointed. Trying to learn an estuary is pay attention to where you catch fish. Take in all the details of wherever it is you catch fish. The wind direction, you know, floating grass, no floating grass, what the shoreline looked like, the water depth, all that stuff. And then you try to put those pieces into the puzzle in other parts of that estuary, and normally that's where you'll find your fish. I mean, that's what we're doing here. This is not your backyard. You're a Tampa guy. And basically, we just jumped in the truck and went to Delacroix to spend a couple of days on the water. But because Ryan's been here before, has the information in his mind and his fish log to where he caught fish last time, how he caught fish last time, we're able to come in here and catch these fish. It's pretty cool. Some of the ponds here this year, the hydrilla's kind of grown up in them, and it makes them fishing them a little difficult. It's a little tough to push in there and fish through it. It's real tough to keep from getting weeded up, but that's where the fish are sitting. There's a lot of bait in those areas, and there's some great redfish action back in these pockets. You know, this place is just visually spectacular. You know, fish rolling and fish pushing and bait everywhere, birds. I mean, it's absolutely just an incredible visual experience for sure.
Yes, sir.
That's another stud too. That's another good fish, Ryan.
I got a tree trunk here with this dang fish. I don't know what to do here, bro.
Here, I'll
I really
help.
don't.
We'll get it. We'll get it. Hang on.
There
Oh boy. God, there's so much energy here. You know, it's nice and cool. That water temp, I'm sure, is a little cooler, and they are energetic.
Another Studley Dudley right there.
Wow, dude.
I don't think he's hooked real well.
He's angry. Ryan hooked you. I didn't. Don't be mad at me. That was a good one, though. Nice job.
He was hooked good. Well,
Nice
not
job,
too great.
Ryan. Wow. They're so heavy here, dude. I mean,
They
compared to the Florida fish, they are just heavy. This estuary is just so full of bait and nutrients that these fish are just heavier than anywhere else we catch them.
They really are, and I think almost, except for one fish today, I won't say whose it was, but except for one fish today, I think every one of these fish have been over 7
Yeah, I
pounds.
think so,
Maybe
too.
a couple were pretty well pushing 8.
Yeah, good fish.
In slot.
Hey, great day on the water, bro.
Awesome day,
Thank you
dude.
so
Great
much.
day.
Unbelievable. Got to get you some of that. You know, one of the reasons that these fish are so plentiful, there's so many of them here, and it's a great trout fishery, and the redfish grow to be really, really big, and the slot fish are huge. It's because there's so much bait in the water. There's mullet, and there's shrimp, and there's shad and things offshore. I mean, these fish just have an endless supply of food to forage on, and that's what makes this fishery so incredible. Capt Ryan and I had a phenomenal day on the water, off the water early, caught 12, 13 redfish, a couple of trout, a bass. It was just an incredible day on the water.